Hello and welcome everybody to another one of my online battles. Catching up again with the videos that I've missed this week. This battle is, well, one to fill in that. Obviously my Saturday slot is to do a Shogun 2 online battle, but this is also showing off the new DLC units, or some of them anyway. I didn't actually intend for this to be the battle that I was going to show or record, but I threw together an army with a couple of the new DLC units in, and I actually managed to pull it off. I was against a level 10 opponent, and I'm level 5, and my opponent, God, several times I thought he had me. Great game to him, and to myself, I'm quite chuffed with it, to be honest. It was a very, very enjoyable game. So, here it is, pretty much the replay. I'll go over the new units first, or I'll quickly go over my army and my opponents, and then I'll have a brief look at the individual new units that are available. The packs not expensive, £1.99, £1.99. So here is my army, and you can see in the front I have two units of matchlock. One is my Lionheart's rifles, you've seen before, and this is one of the new units, heavy gunners. And you can see their guns are far larger than my matchlocks. The large guns do terrific damage. Then behind them I have two units of bow samurai, and then another one of the new units, the Daikudo, I think, samurai. I'm going to call them Daikudo, even if they're not called that. And they've got 175 range, so that's what's special about them. Behind them I've got bulletproof samurai, another new unit, so very heavily armoured. Long Yari Ashigaru, so they've got longer Yari spears, and they're a new unit as well. And then a regular unit of Yari Ashigaru behind them, Lone Sword Ashigaru, and then a final new unit. Actually, no, there's a few more actually. Wako Raiders, so another sword infantry. Then over on my left, in the forest over here, I've got the Fire Cavalry, which pretty much fill in the gap between Yari Cav and Great Guard. To be honest, they're pretty good cav. And then on my far right, I've got the Mounted Gunners. You can see their guns on their backs. My opponent has brought two units of Great Guard, one on the left and one on the right. He's also got the new DLC pack, as is evident. He's got bow samurai behind that. He's already got level, what are they? I'm trying to see the right one. They're level 7 heavy gunners, so he's already used these pretty effectively. You can see how big they are, guns, compared to normal matchlocks. He's also got two units of one unit of bow samurai, one unit of bow ashigaru, but the bow samurai is heavily vetted. Unit of Yari Ashigaru and Lone Sword Ashigaru, two units of Lone Sword Ashigaru, a unit of Nodachi Samurai, highly vetted again, Yari Ashigaru, and then a final unit of Matchlock Ashigaru. So to be honest, the moment I saw the Great Guard, I thought crap, but as you will see, do very well. And I hold off from moving forward at the beginning. This is probably one of my longer battles that I fought in 1v1 anyway. Just take a look at the heavy gunners, because they look pretty cool. Compared to my Yari Ashigaru with their small little matchlocks. And then the bulletproof samurai. Oh no, these are the Daku, I think, samurai. And the bulletproof samurai. So just sort of heavily armoured dudes. So here I was trying to push forward with my matchlocks, but my opponent moved forward with his bow samurai, which I guess at that high level they've got increased range, because they were able to hit me before I was able to hit them with mine, so they must have increased range. And they did manage to kill 3 of my heavy gunners, but not to worry, they will prove their worth very shortly. Instantly opens up with fire arrows, so I decided to push up with my men. My Daku samurai are already able to hit these bow samurai, because they've got 175 range. The only kind of they cost about 1,000 koku, I think. And yeah, the only difference in them being 1,000 koku is that they have, I think have quite a low reload speed compared to something like bow warrior monks, but they've got starting of 50 accuracy, I think. But anyway, you can take a look from stats yourselves. I'm sure in the encyclopedia they'll be on there, in game or on Steam. It should all be there for you guys. Wacko Raiders here. So I push up with my bow troops and he pulls back because he's got fewer bow troops, even though they're highly vetted bow samurai. He's not going to. He's going to be quite cautious to begin with, but to compensate for this, he brings out his avatar and gets him to do stand and fight, which dramatically increases reload, I believe, for the units. I'm not sure about accuracy. I can't remember if it does increase accuracy or not, but definitely increases reload speed, so his men are able to fire very quickly. Over on his right, sorry I just drawn there, over on his left, my right, he's charging in wedge formation with his Great Guard against my exposed Daiku Samurai. I pull up with my bulletproof Samurai just in time to meet this charge, but he attempts to dodge it as the last of my Samurai catches his Great Guard. And that heavy gun sound you could hear was the sound of my heavy gunners firing off a few rounds, which did get rid of some of the units there. I quickly moved up with my mounted gunners to try and push back the Great Guard as well and catch them, but I wasn't able to get there quickly enough. I decided to push up against his bow ashigaru here, but they do manage to get first few shots off and start chipping away at my men, so I managed to get one volley off and then pull back. Their bow ashigaru at this point have been whittled away quite a lot anyway. Bye Daiku Samurai, they're doing quite a lot of damage. So I pull back my troops, hold my position here. I'm in no rush to push forward against my opponent. I'm quite happy to let him come. He's got the superior troops in terms of veterancy and the Great Guard especially. So I'm not prepared to rush in against them, especially with sort of heavy gunners that are level 7. And you've just seen, well, you heard the sounds of them firing off a couple of rounds. These guys have got about I think 125 range, so they're a bit more than your standard Yari Ashigaru, which is nice. Oh, not Yari Ashigaru, Matchlock Ashigaru, but they're quite a deadly unit. Unit size, I believe for this has been set down to medium. The opponent chose that, not me, so that's why if you're wondering about the unit sizes, they're not as small as this. So again, he's pushing forward with his bow troops, but these bow ashigaru are being whittled away quite effectively by the Daiku Samurai. As you can see, here come the arrows, and they're just about wavering. This unit over here hasn't taken much damage at all. Inflicted heavy casualties on my left to my bow samurai, and the other bow samurai unit in the centre. The Daiku Samurai, by comparison, have taken very little damage. And I keep fending off his Great Guard by moving forward with my mounted gunners. He knows how effective a matchlock volley is going to be from these guys against his Great Guard. They will really rip them down. And got my matchlock. My Lionhearts rifles are here as well on the field. Level 3 veterancy. I'm slowly leveling them up because they're going to be useful in the end. Probably also get another unit on the go at some point soon and start leveling them up. So names for another matchlock unit would be awesome. The cooler the better. I see him moving around his heavy gunners here, and I want to see if I can take this opportunity to get rid of them, because I know that he's unlikely to charge my gunners with his Great Guard, because he knows that a volley is going to destroy them really. But he sees the gap made by me moving my gunners to the right flank, and that I've left the Daiku Samurai out here and bow samurai, so I charge forward with my bulletproof samurai and long Yari Ashigaru, and just managed to get there in time to inflict some damage. And my Lionheart's rifles are also firing in here, doing some heavy damage to this Great Guard, which is whittled down to 6 and then breaks. And those heavier shots you can hear, the louder, deeper shots, are from the heavy gunners, which finish off what's left of the Great Guard. One escapes, and my men are safe, and so I can push back up with my bow. My Daiku Samurai. I haven't really moved this unit, the fire cavalry, out of the trees yet. I'm happy to leave them there. Just finishing off now his bow samurai. He's heavily vetted, but now I've got 3 units of bow troop to use. This one has run out of... no, it hasn't run out of ammunition. It's about to, though. Using flaming arrows as well, trying to do some extra damage. Excuse me, I keep yawning. Oh dear. Men are running from the battlefield. Ah yes, my mounted gunners are routed here by their heavy gunners. And alas, the outing for them is not so great. But 2 of them do survive. We're now pushing forward their heavy gunners here. You can see them firing. They are quite deadly. Quite deadly shot. And I decided to move up my matchlock Ashigari and my Lionheart's rifles to counter these guys. But my Ducky Samurai, although under heavy fire, are able to whittle away the heavy gunners. And do substantial damage to this unit. Meanwhile, I saw him move his matchlock Ashigaru here on the left, and I thought I'll try and make a charge out of my fire cavalry. Unfortunately, he does manage to pull them back far sooner than I anticipated, so I've got to pull my cavalry back, but this does mean I've lost the element of surprise when he decides to commit his other unit of Great Guard. But for now, he's got his unit of Matchlock Ashigaru here, which can't fire on me yet. And hidden in there is the remains of his level 8 bow samurai. Ah, they can fire now, because I decided to charge him with this unit of bow samurai because they've run out of ammunition. To use them as cover while I move up with some of my men. Over on the left, I notice he's moving his Great Guard, so I decided to pull my heavy gunners over because I know how devastating they are, and I realise that if I can get a volley off with them, it will cripple the Great Guard charge. And I'm almost about to get that when he sees this and pulls back. So in return, I pull my Yari Ashigaru in front of my heavy gunners, and but he has moved forward with this unit of Matchlock Ashigaru. So I've got to be careful. I'm trying to pull them back. And I take this opportunity to try and push forward while he's pulling back with his Great Guard. Just try and catch him by surprise. But I leave my heavy gunners here. And as you'll see, they'll get some shots off into the Matchlock Ashigaru. And then into the Great Guard as well. While this is going on and being covered, I decide my fire cavalry are just about holding the Great Guard, so I decide to charge forward my Yari Slayers, try and pin them. The Great Guard already start moving off, so I decided to get my Yari Slayers to attack the Matchlock Ashigaru. But my heavy gunner's shots are going through to the Great Guard, and they're already down to 16 men, which is a fantastic amount of damage to do. And my charge has pushed the Matchlock Ashigaru back, and my heavy gunners have taken a few losses from the enemy matchlocks, but there's still plenty of them to cause some horrific damage. So I get them to hold position here, and then they'll decide to pull them back so they can face the Great Guard should they decide to charge me. Reforming with my Yari Ashigaru and my Spear Slayers here, recharge back into their Yari Ashigaru, and I pull my bow samurai and my lone sword and bulletproof samurai over to my flank here. So as you can see, the Great Guard are charging, but before they even get to me, they're down to 9 men. They do manage to kill a couple of my heavy gunners, but bulletproof samurai are on scene to finish them off. And the Great Guard soon routs, and my heavy gunners survive with 16 of them left. Over here, the reinforcement sent up to deal with the enemy Yari Ashigaru has worked. I haven't been able to defeat the Matchlock Ashigaru yet, but I'm pushing them back on that flank anyway. Over on my right, I've got my unit, my Lionheart's rifles, and the Daku Samurai as well, and I'm also pushing up with Wacko Raiders and a Lone Sword Ashigaru, as well as Bulletproof Samurai. So I've now got 2 flanks, pretty much trying to encircle my opponent. He decides to charge forward with his Nodachi Samurai, which I counter with my Lone Sword. Obviously not good. Nodachi, you've got the massive charge bonus and do horrific damage to my Lone Sword, but it's just to try and pin them while my heavy gunners stand right behind and fire through into the gap hitting both his Lonesword Ashigaru and Nodachi. The Nodachi do break through and start attacking my heavy gunners, and while this melee is going on over here, I'm pushing up with my Lionheart's rifles against his heavy gunners on my right flank, and I do manage to get a volley off on them, bring them down before he managed to get a couple of shots through, which do horrific damage. I think the bullets go through the front two ranks actually there. He starts pulling back, so I decide to push up. Meanwhile, I'm pushing up with my main force here, and I've charged in with my general's bodyguard to try and relieve some of the pressures here. My Wacko Raiders have now arrived on the scene, and they're actually doing a surprisingly good job at holding the enemy longsword at bay, as well as some of the Nodachi. And they're also being shot in the back by the Matchlock Ashigaru here. But I'm just about able to hold against the longsword and the Nodachi for the moment. Anyway, up here, my Lionheart's rifles are on scene, and they're ready to fire a volley into the heavy gunners. My unit of Long Yari Ashigaru and Daiku Samurai are now charging in against his remaining unit of Lonesword Ashigaru, and I've got Bulletproof Samurai going in against his avatar as well. So there's a heavy conflict going on here. Meanwhile, his heavy gunners have routed, and I'm pulling across my Lionheart's rifles to cover the skirmish over here. My general charged in to relieve the Nodachi and save my Wacko Raiders on the left, and I've finished off his Matchlock Ashigaru. Now my general's free to charge in against his avatar. I thought I had numerical superiority, even though he was far higher level than me. Only shows his avatar at level 9, but in the lobby I believe he was level 10. I might be wrong, but I could have sworn he was level 10. 9 or 10 though. I've taken heavy casualties with my general. I decided to pull back, as well as after I've lost my Bulletproof Samurai and my Long Yari Ashigaru. And my Daiku Samurai are holding in there, but my Wacko Raiders, both of them are taking heavy casualties against his remaining unit of Longsword there, which is heavily vetted as well. So I charged in against them with my avatar, trying to make them break. He's pulled back with his avatar, and meanwhile I've got one unit here, my Lionheart's rifles, still holding strong. With the last of my avatar's bodyguard, I tried to charge in against his avatar, but they break after the loss of my avatar. And I know that I've got one last chance to hold them off now, and as long as they don't charge together, I'll be alright. So my men line up and get ready to fire on the Lonesword Ashigaru. I know that I need to make them break before they get to me, because his avatar is charging as well. They break just before, and his avatar crashes into my units, and this is when I thought he might just make it, because they're far superior, higher leveled. They've been rallied, but my men just managed to fire for the last few shots to bring them down, and victory is achieved. Now for me that was a thoroughly enjoyable battle, and great game to my opponent. So that's just a little taste at some of the units, a little look at some of the units in the new DLC. I actually highly recommend it. They're all fun units. Maybe some of you have been playing against people the last couple of days and come up against some of those units and thought, I wish I had that unit. Well, for £1.99, or probably that's about $3 I would have thought, something like that, $3–4, you can get this pack. But there is one more way to get this pack, and there's a way to get it for free, and that is by entering my upcoming competition, which possibly would have gone up before all of my catch-up videos. I might have released the competition video first. I'm not sure what order they're going to be uploaded in, but I've just to say that I've got a Shogun 2 Total War part, a Napoleon Total War Denmark campaign part, which dramatic end in that part, and I've got a warband line battle to upload as well, and of course this online battle. There's not going to be any benchmarks this weekend, purely because I've had to catch up with all these videos, but because of what's occurred in my campaign videos this week, there will be a free slot early on this week for me to do some benchmarks which you will all see. You'll all realise after you watch said campaign part. I won't reveal which one it is. Could be Shogun, could be Napoleon. You'll realise which slot the benchmarks will slide into this week. And then a voting video for a new campaign for that game will go up. And then I'll do a revised gaming schedule for the following week. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Please comment, rate, subscribe. Sorry I didn't get I didn't get a screenshot of the results there, but I did manage to win, as you saw. So as always, hope you enjoyed. Please do comment, rate, and subscribe, and check out all the other videos that have been uploaded before or after this video that have been missed this week while I've been at work. See you guys next time.